Hey guys, this is Emix77 and I got a email request for how to do a reflective surface. And there's plenty of tutorials on YouTube and this, that, and the other if y'all search, but he asked me, so I'm going to show him how I do it. And the way I do it is I'll get a picture that I want. This is my standard layout. Let me switch to a layout that will help you guys see things better. This right here. Now I got my browser. This is just a different layout. Like I made the window bigger. Here's my canvas and over here's my viewer. This is just a setup so you all can see the canvas better. Made it bigger. So now I've got my picture I want to work on, or video or whatever, and I'm going to drag it to my timeline. And here it is in my timeline. This is the clip that I'm going to be working with. So I'm going to double click it and load it into my viewer. And I'm going to go to my motions tab and scale it down to about 80, I guess. Now that we have that done, I'm going to go back down to my timeline, push my Option and Shift key, and click and drag up on my track, and this will duplicate it. Holding the Option key causes it to duplicate, and holding the Shift key causes it to move straight up and down without being moved to the side. You know, it helps you keep things lined. So as I hold my Option key and drag up, as you can see, I have two video tracks. 1 and 2, two duplicates of each other, and this is all good. So now I want to click and drag a marquee around them, and I want to drag them up one track, drag them both up one track. So this means I'll have my pictures on track 2 and 3, and I'll have a blank track for track 1. So far, so good. Now I want to go over here to my Generators tab, which is right here, and I want to click Render Gradient. Now this will throw us a gradient up in our viewer, and I don't like it from left to right like that, so I'm going to go into my Filters tab, or Controls tab, I'm sorry. Go to your Controls tab and there'll be a gradient type drop down menu. Click it and select horizontal from bottom to top. And what that does is it just makes your gradient from top to bottom, as you can see. Now what I want to do is I want to click and drag my gradient down to my very first track. And as you can see, well, it scooted them down. I moved my gradient under my very first track. Now as you can see, I just have a gradient background, which will help distinguish the reflective surface. Now I want to click and drag my picture up a little bit so I'll make room for my reflection. If you can't see your wireframes, just go up here to this button and make sure image and wireframe is checked, and you should see your wireframe. Okay, now I'm going to click on my top track and drag it down below my first track. So now we have two duplicate tracks, one right under the other. So now, depending on what you're working on, you might need to flop it or flip it. And in this case, I need to use the basic 3D filter to get it to look like a reflection. So I'm going to go to Effects. Again, you may need to use the flop filter too, depending on your picture or video. I'm going to go to Video Filters, and I'm going to scroll down to Perspective folder. And here's my basic 3D. I'm going to drag and drop it to my bottom video clip, which is the one I have on track 3. Now if I double click this clip and load it into the viewer and go to my Filters tab, I will have the controls for my basic 3D. Now what I want to do is I want to flop it completely. So I'm going to have to take the X control and I'm going to drag it around to 180 degrees exactly. And when I do that, as you can see, boom, it flopped my picture around, and now I have what seems to be a reflective picture. But you can tell it, and I can tell it's not a reflection, but you can see where we're going. Now things get, you know, a little more complicated, but yet it's simple too. So now we want to add a filter to this to make it look like a reflection. So you want to double click your bottom clip so it'll load into the viewer. I'm not sure if you have your bottom clip on track 2 or 3, whichever it is, double click it and load it into the viewer. Then we're going to go over to your effects folder and under matte, select, let's see, mask shape, and drag and drop it to your bottom video or bottom picture. And when you do this, as you can see, the picture shrinks because it throws a mask on it. So now I want to go over here, since this is automatically loaded into my viewer. I'm going to go under the filters tab, and I'll have my controls for mask shape. And what I want to do is I want to take my horizontal scale and I want to scale it out to where the edges touch. As you can see over here in the canvas, the edges are touching now. And I don't want to do anything with the vertical scale. I want to click my center crosshair right here. And this will allow me to move my center of my picture. I'll go over here and grab my little red plus and move the center of the picture up to where it looks like it would be a good spot. Right like that right there. But still, it don't quite look like a reflection, does it? Scoot this up a little bit more. So now we got to add one more filter. One more effects. So what we're gonna add is soft edges under. Well, let's not use soft edges. Let's use mask feather. It's right above mask shape under your matte folder in your effects bin. So click your mask feather and drag and drop it to your bottom clip, whichever track you have it on. Go to your filters tab and you'll see your adjustments for your mask feather right here. So what you want to do is you want to take your mask feather slider all the way up. And as you can see right here, we have a pretty believable reflection going on. Let me turn my wireframe off, just in my image. As you can see, we have a pretty believable reflection going on in the canvas. I mean, you can fool with it and fiddle with it. You can add drop shadows if you'd like. It's really basically up to you, however you want to do it. So there you go. There's a quick, basic reflection. Let me switch views here so I can show you. Let's see. Now over here in my frame viewer, these are my vector scopes, my color. I can go to my frame viewer, and what this allows me to do is, if you load a frame into this, then it will show you the before and after, as you can see. Now I have my playhead over it, and when I grab these little boxes here, right here and drag, it will show me before my effects are applied and after my effects are applied. So this is a really good way to check your work. You know, do you like what it's going to look like after you apply it, or do you not like it? Just go into your frame viewer here, and you can use this little bounding box to see what your clip looks like with the effect applied or without it applied. So that's a really good, neat little trick to check your work. So guys, there we go. There's your quick reflection. I really hope this is helped. I hope it's done something for you guys. And if you have any questions, PM me, give me a shout. If this wasn't clear, let me know, and I'll try to do it better, and I'll try to do another one for you. So guys, I hope you had a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next time.